With updates on plans and more, this is Pro Wrestling Central. My name is John, and you're watching the Wrestling Report. Speaking about his return to WWE, as he is set to face Gunther for the World Heavyweight title at Saturday night's main event, Goldberg told Dan Celio, "Unfortunately, my last match with the WWE, contractually, I was against Roman Reigns. It was in Saudi Arabia. There were a number of things that were wrong with that scenario. First and foremost, me coming off of COVID 3 weeks before. I hadn't trained for 3 months. I had COVID, and so to make an extremely long story short, it just wasn't the right way for me to go out, that's all. Out of the blue, I get a phone call asking if I'm still interested in the retirement match. And, I had to think about it for a second. But instantly your answer is yes, so that you can go out on your own terms and rectify, what people saw before. At 58 years old, if I have to go in there hobbled, if I have to go in there 30 pounds lighter, I don't give a damn, because I have a point to make. And, at 58 years old, can I still make that point? I don't know, but I'm going to do my best, and my best is 99. My best 50% of me is better than 99% of the pricks on the planet. I believe it is. In some unfortunate news, Will Ospreay revealed that his grandfather passed away, writing this on X. Personal note, I landed in Mexico this morning at 3 a.m. Once landed, I had a phone call from my mom telling me my granddad had passed that morning. Extremely close to my granddad. He was a bloody hero to me. Your love and support eased my pain. Thank you so much. Providing details on Liv Morgan's shoulder injury, Ringside News wrote that Sean Ross Sapp reported on Fightful Select that the word within WWE is that Liv Morgan's injury will require surgery. It was noted that she will likely miss a number of months for her shoulder injury. Kairi Sane, who was in the match on Raw when Liv was injured, wrote this on X regarding the situation. One of the most painful things for me is when a match is decided not by wrestling, but because of an injury. I always step into the ring with deep respect for my opponent, and I train hard every day to give the audience something they can truly enjoy. Even if it was never intentional, knowing that someone was hurt in a match with me is something I carry deeply. It breaks my heart. I hope with all my heart for a full and speedy recovery. I will continue to give my all, hoping to bring excitement, not pain, to the ring. Explaining how plans changed for the WWE Evolution event after Liv Morgan's shoulder injury, this was said on Wrestling Observer Radio. That's going to have to be changed, Evolution 2 match. They could put, Raquel Rodriguez and Roxanne Perez against the Bellas if they want to do that. I don't know what they're going to do necessarily about the tag team titles. From what I was told, the key meetings have not been held yet as far as what to do. So that's where it stands right now. Obviously, changes are going to be made. The meetings, are actually probably going to be tomorrow, but what I was told is the key stuff has not been discussed yet as far as what they're going to do. But they're going to, that was a key match on the show. When it comes to the plans on Raw for Nikki Bella, it was added that Nikki Bella was there and she was going to do a run-in in the Liv Morgan-Kairi Sane match to help set up, this next part of the angle, Meltzer said. But they decided, for whatever reason, I guess because everything was a panic at that point, and they probably didn't, put her out on a promo, because it's like, well, if she's okay, which, what do you say? So that's why she was not on the show. Even though she'd been advertised all week, she was there. Following AEW Grand Slam Mexico, MJF would be confronted by a fan at a hotel, with Ringside News writing, MJF is no stranger to crossing the line, but his actions at AEW Grand Slam Mexico pushed the heat to a whole new level. The former AEW World Champion reportedly drew such intense backlash from the crowd at Arena Mexico that one fan took it beyond the arena, confronting him at his hotel later that night. According to Fightful Select, sources within AEW say a fan went after MJF at the hotel after the show, in response to his role during the special broadcast in Mexico City. Fortunately, MJF wasn't hurt, and in true heel fashion, he wore the chaos as a badge of honor. He was said to have been okay and laughed the situation off and was proud of it. During the June 18th Grand Slam broadcast, MJF walked to the ring decked out in red, white, and blue, waving the American flag, while standing in the heart of Mexico's most iconic wrestling venue. That alone was enough to rile the crowd, but it didn't stop there. After a brutal match with Mystico, MJF got himself disqualified. Then came the part that sent fans over the edge. He unmasked Mystico in the ring and placed the legendary luchador's mask on his own head. MJF has also been cutting aggressive promos on Mystico in the weeks leading up to the event, taking direct aim at one of Mexico's most respected stars. The reaction wasn't just loud, it was personal. The hotel incident shows that MJF's latest run with the Hurt Syndicate is working exactly as intended, at least from a storyline perspective, but it also blurs the line between performance and real-life danger, something every top heel eventually has to navigate. Touching on the possibility of Vince McMahon purchasing TNA Wrestling, Dave Meltzer noted on Wrestling Observer Radio, could Vince buy TNA? Sure, TNA wanted to sell to Tony Khan in 2018 and 2019. Tony didn't want to buy a company with a bad rep. He wanted to start his own. You could argue TNA had the infrastructure, but Vince buying a company just to be a distant number 3 and losing to Tony Khan? That would happen. That's exactly what would happen. What TV station is going to do business with Vince right now? Maybe a small outlet, maybe, but his name is as much an albatross as it is a positive in this day and age. Does WWE want to work with Vince McMahon at this point? I don't know. Previously, this was said by Jonathan Coachman in regards to WWE being bought back by Vince McMahon from TKO. I've been quoted a lot from this show the last week everywhere because I have conversations. People trust me, people call me, I talk to them because I don't treat this like the end-all be-all, and the one thing that I've yet to be wrong about, anything. And so now all of a sudden I'm getting on all these websites because I have educated views and I also have people that are tipping me off. Now, do I know 100% Vince is going to buy WWE? I know that he wants to, Vince Russo added. What if Vince obviously knew what was coming down the pike? He obviously knew he was going to have to take a back seat, and he was going to have to take a back seat for a couple of years whether he liked it or not. What if he made the deal with Ari and TKO and they were the placeholder? You guys take care of this for now. You make whatever you can make. You get X percentage. I get X percentage. And 3 years when this is all behind me, this is the price I pay you to get my baby back, Coachman replied. That would explain them trying to make as much money now as they can. If Vince would have said, you guys do whatever you want, you're going to get X% of what you make, that would explain why we don't care about New Orleans. We're coming back to Vegas. Wow. My mind's now going in 1,000 different directions. That could explain why a Bruce Pritchard is still there. That's why a Michael Hayes is still there. Could that explain a lot of that? That TKO is just the placeholder? Now Dave Meltzer has responded to this saying, the stories of him, Vince McMahon, somehow buying WWE, and I even saw a line in a story about how TKO is looking to sell WWE, and it's like, aside from that being denied all day, TKO has just saved between $100 million and $150 million by essentially removing so many jobs and things like that because they could operate UFC and WWE with the same office staff. Bringing up a new addition to Vince McMahon's company, Ringside News said Vince McMahon has been focused on building his investment firm called 14th and I after his WWE departure last year. While he's still laying the groundwork, it appears that a former WWE employee has already joined McMahon's company. Ringside News has learned that Beth Fisher, who previously served as WWE's head of corporate social responsibility for nearly 13 years, is now working for Vince McMahon's company as the head of administration following her WWE release. Mourns. Beth Fisher was released back in May 2024, and she was just one of many released at that time, as Kristen Prouty, Senior VP of Entertainment Relations, and Tavia Hartley, Manager of Talent Operations and Appearances, were also let go. We've also reported that Vince McMahon has already hired Kristen Prouty for his new company. To top it all off, McMahon even tried to purchase Bare Knuckle Fighting Championship, but the deal ultimately fell through. Vince McMahon's next chapter is obviously coming together, with longtime WWE employees like Beth Fisher and Kristen Prouty now playing major roles in his new venture, 14th and I. As the company grows, many are watching closely to see if McMahon's new venture will end up becoming a success once and for all. Mentioning two WWE stars that have been pitched to join Seth Rollins' faction on Raw, Ringside News wrote that Seth Rollins, Braun Breaker, and Paul Heyman have already formed one of the most dominant units on Monday Night Raw, but the group might not be done growing. According to a new report from Bodyslam.net, WWE has internally pitched two more names to possibly join the faction. The group originally launched as a trio, but plans changed on May 24th at Saturday night's main event when Bronson Reed joined the mix by attacking CM Punk and aligning with the team. That moment officially turned the group from a trio into a dangerous faction, and now WWE is talking about making it even deeper. The two names being talked about, NXT star Ethan Page and free agent Ricky Starks. While nothing is confirmed, both have been pitched internally as potential additions to the group. And this was your pro wrestling news update. I hope you're all having a great day. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see y'all later.